Hello students, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Today we are going to discuss the Unit 1 History of Sericulture. Sericulture, it means a reeling of silkworms for the production of silk. So silk just doesn't come under an industry, but it also carries an Indian economy, it also carries the Indian trade and also the Indian tradition, and also it has a huge Indian heritage. So here in this class, the objectives of this class are we'll learn about the historical origins of sericulture industry in India, and also we'll understand the significance of ancient Silkroad for the global trade, and also we'll recognize the functions and importance of the Central Silk Board. So we'll gain knowledge regarding financial assistance for establishing the silk farms, which is from the government, that from the state government as well as from the central government. We'll analyze the socio-economic impact for silk production on rural population as well. So here is an introduction to sericulture. Sericulture is a labor intensive agro industry which is suited for rural areas. That means it majorly improves the economical standards, and also it gives an employment for the people who are in the rural areas. So silk, starting from the silk, it is famously called as Queen of Textiles. Why is it called as Queen of Textiles? It is for its timeless beauty, for its timeless shine. So this industry majorly it gives employment for the agriculture sector as well as the industrial sector. So this industry provides a unique opportunity for socio-economic growth. For example, 1 acre of cultivation of mulberry, that means 1 acre of mulberry plantation can directly or indirectly give employment for 5 people. So India has a rich history in a silk production that dates back the century. In 2015 to 2016, the industry employed over 8.25 million people in India. So this is a significant number for these workers. The majorly it focused on the women worker and also the weaker section people. So if you see the Indian tradition, it has a culture and it has a deeply interconnected. So this sericulture is majorly deeply connected with our culture, with our tradition, and also it is a blend of our economy as well. So the amazing diversity of the silk reflective of a specific regions that defines India as well. So we'll see the historical origins of mulberry. So this historian states mulberry cultivation spread to India around 140 BC. That means the knowledge originally traveled from the China into the India through Tibet. So firstly what happened is the silk production, it began near the Brahmaputra and also at the Ganges of the river. It is believed that the silkworm, that is Bombax murray, firstly originated near the Himalayas, and also the Aryans have been discovered that there are also non-mulberry plantation that are present. They are majorly produced under the sub-Himalayan regions early on. So India likely cultivated wild silks as well, which are independently from the China, from agents. It has been reached out, and also we see archaeological evidences from Nivasa dates. Silk use is from 1500 BC. So there is an ancient knowledge. That means this knowledge is being spread. This knowledge is given from the generations to the generation. As mentioned, it has a blend of tradition. It also has a blend of the culture. So this sericulture is passed out from the generations to the generations, holding the culture, holding the tradition. So this historical records show that India has a distinct wild sericulture, silk culture. So this early domestic base allowed the industry to flourish naturally. This is not flourished, this has not been carried out through some scientific reasons, though it holds a scientific reasons, scientific values as well, but it also has a natural blend as well as a scientific blend. Next we see the silk in ancient Indian literature. So in the ancient Indian literature, as mentioned, the sericulture has been passed on from the generation to generation from the ancient time itself. So we'll see from the scriptures that the term Urna in the Rig Veda specifically indicates natural silk, and the word Manurmat, that means it refers to the fine cloth which is made entirely from the silk threads. In the Mahabharata, Draupadi is described wearing a pearl woven silk sari, and also in the Ramayana it mentions Sita receiving diverse silken vestments or garments as a gift. So that means this silk is majorly focuses like a royal garments or else as a royal textile. So these references, the above references, it proves that the silk existed in India 2000 years before Christ. So silk was considered as an item of high prestige, and also it holds a royal status. So epic stories often details the vibrant colors, and also it has a quality of Indian silk as well. So silk was essential for sacred rituals and also grand palaces ceremony. So people, the Indian women, they would wear the silk saris and also the silk garments on the important rituals, on the day of important rituals, or else on the grand palace ceremonies. So this literature highlights the long standing value of the textile. So this ancient Indian literature, it shows us the ancient value, and also it shows us the prestige because of the silk that has been woven and that has been worn. We'll see the Silk Road, from where it has been travelled. So this Silk Road was a 6,400 kilometers long ancient network from the trade routes. So if you see here, it started from from the east to the west. So it is linked to the east, that is China and India, within the west, that is Rome and the Europe. So if we see, the caravans traded silk for gold, they traded silk with the wool, they have traded it with the horses, jade and the glasses. So this route began in the China. This route actually has been began in the China, and it has travelled 6,400 kilometers long network. It has been passed to the Baghdad and to the Istanbul. So in the Indian caravan, it has been crossed through the Kashmir with the spices, with the indigo and with the fine silk. So we see beyond goods, the road was an highway for ideas and also for the traditions and also for the religions. So this Buddhist priest, they used this network to spread the teaching across the Asia. So we see the Taklaman desert or the Pamir mountains were the key landmarks in which the Kashmir silk became particularly famous through this, because of this trade. So if you see, it has begun in the China, and also it ended with the Baghdad and also from the Istanbul. It has been touched India at the point of a Kashmir. We see the expansion of Western world. First thing, it has been started from the China, and we'll also see the expansion in the Western world. In the Constantinople in 553 AD, two monks, they came from the Rome. They have learned the silk secrets in the Tibet, and they brought eggs to the Constantinople. Then we have, this is how the Constantinople used the sericulture. That means the two monks from the Rome, they have come up and they have learned the silk culture, that means the sericulture, and they have implemented in the Western region, and that got a huge demand. The British people holds a huge respect and also huge demand for the silk that has been produced in the India. Then we have seen Venetian Republic. By the 11th century, the Venetian Republic met the entire European demand for high quality of the silk. Third, we have the Mediterranean. Here we see the Romans set up a silk fabric units in Athens and then Aegean islands to serve their elite citizens. If we see, the Italian sericulture eventually spread into the France during the year 1340. This industry peaked in the France by the 18th century before a disease. So the majorly we should also take care about the disease free silks that has to be produced. If the diseased, that means the pebrine epidemic whipped out of much of European silk in 19th century. Then came Louis Pasteur. He has done a research in 1870 which helped to control the devastating disease. That means as it controlled the major disease that has been spreading in the silk. Then we have the medieval Indian and the silk trade. As we see, the Kashmir and the Bengal were major exporters to the European market. Then French travelers called India as a common storehouse for Mughals. Why they have called as a common storehouse for the Mughals? Because the Mughal emperor, that means the Mughal emperor Akbar, he would promote, he would gift the gesture, he would give the silk shawls and the silk garments to the people who were visiting the area or who would visit the country, because of which the demand has been grown for the silk. Then we have the Mughal Emperor Akbar promoted silk fabrics and the Kashmir shawls. This Dutch and the British competed for control over the silk trade. Then the East India Company, they modernized the reeling and also they modernized the rearing techniques. In 1771, these Chinese silkworms were introduced to improve the cocoon quality. For the good production of the silk, we also make sure the disease-free silks, disease-free cocoons, disease-free silkworms, and also we see this, they have introduced the Chinese silkworms for the better quality of the cocoon. Then we have an Italian method of rearing where labor brought in between 1717 to 1775. This industry faced challenges due to unscientific breed replacement. So because of the unscientific reasons, there were diseases that has been spread out. Then we have during the World War II and the industry of the sericulture. Unexpectedly, what happened is this World War II saved the Indian silk industry from collapse, because India was the sole source. India was the one and only source for the Commonwealth during the World War. So silk demand skyrocketed. That means silk demand went on the sky, for it was very crucial for making of the parachutes. Then what happened, the British government, they have launched a silk expansion scheme in 1942. Because of this scheme, what happened, the high quality of the silk components were needed for the war related manufacturing. Then the incentives were provided to the farmer for to increase the silk production. As they are even working during the World War II, their incentives were also given to the farmers. So these raw silk imports were suspended, forcing reliance on the local output. If you see in the partition in 1948, the split silk areas between India and Pakistan. Then important production zones in East Bengal part of the Bangladesh. So this period marked as a transition into modern organized sericulture. Because of the World War II, it has been a plus point for the sericulture industry, because the production was majorly high in India, because India was the only source of the production of the silk. Then we have many varieties of the silk that can be produced in the India. First one is a mulberry. It accounts for 71.5% of the production, where it is practiced in the Karnataka. It is majorly practiced in Andhra Pradesh and also in the Telangana. Then we have a Muga silk. It is a golden yellow silk that is present in India. Majorly it has been produced from Assam. This India holds a total world monopoly on the Muga silk. Then we have a Vanya silk, which includes tropical tassar, which also includes oak tassar, which also includes earthworms. This Northeast India, it produces all 4 types of the silks. That means majorly the North India, they produces majorly 4 types of the silks, that is tassar silks, oak tassar, earthworms. And then we have Muga silk, which has been produced from the Assam, and also the mulberry plantation, majorly it has been done in the Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and the Telangana. So if we see this, India is the second largest producer for the silk globally after China. After China, India is the second largest producer of the silk. If we see the eri silk, it makes up to 19.4% of total silk production. Then tassars accounts of 8.8%, and the Indian silk production share, the total silk production reached 32,261 by the time of 2018 and 2019. So the domestic demand for bivalent silk is increasing for luxury exports. What is bivalent silk? So in an year, we can produce at least 2 generations. That means if the 2 generations have been produced in an year, it is called as bivolatile. If one generation has been produced, it is called as a univolatile. If multiple more than 2 are been produced in an year, it called as a polyvolatile or multivolatile. If we see what is the role of the Central Silk Board, for majorly for the Sericulture department, they hold a Central Silk Board, that is called as CSB. It is formed in 1948 by an act of Parliament to rehabilitate the industry. This CSB act as a corporate body which works under the Ministry of Textiles. That means this CSB majorly forms the rules, it gives the rules and regulations, it also gives the assistance to the farmers. The core function of this Central Silk Board, it means it gives help, it gives support to the farmers in giving the machineries, and also in giving the training for the farmers, to educate the farmers. I can say to educate the farmers, the Central Silk Board, it gives a training, it supervises research, it gives trainings, and the farm to fabric cycle. That means from the production of the silk to till the making of the fabric, this Central Silk Board takes the complete responsibility. The CSB headquarters are located in India, that means in the city of Bangalore, Karnataka. It ensures the distribution of disease-free silkworm layings. It also gives the technological advancements in reeling and also in the spinning. Their major focuses are on the reeling, their major focuses are also on the spinning. So it stabilizes the prices, that means it gives certain prices for the farmers to sell, and also it rationalizes the silk marketing in the country. So this board advises the central government on all sericultural matters. That means any decision that has to be taken, it has to be taken from the Central Silk Board. We see the silk production across the India. So Karnataka is a leading state for this mulberry silk in the South India. We see Tamil Nadu and also the Andhra Pradesh, they are the major hubs for weaving. In northeastern regions, it contributes 18% of Indian total silk. That means Assam, it gives Muga silk as mentioned. Assam is a world center for the unique golden Muga silk that has been present, and there are few silks that are been produced, that are being manufactured or produced in the forest region like Jharkhand or Orissa. This is a major production for this Tasar silk. So this Kashmir will remain a vital area for high quality univolatile silks. That means what is univolatile silk? That means in a year one generation of silk is been produced. That kind of silks are called as univolatile silk. We see Bengal, in Bengal it has been maintained the silk tradition for centuries, and also in Pochampalli and Dharmavaram there are world famous silk clusters present. What do you mean by world famous silk clusters? Majorly in Pochampalli and Dharmavaram, we see a major production of the silk garments that are being produced. In the tribal areas in the central India, they rely on the wild silk for the livelihood. It also, from the farm till the fabric is maintained, all from the fabric it has been given, the employment is been given for the people. So it majorly also focuses on the employment. So there is regional specificity defines that unique varieties of the Indian garments. That means depending upon the regions, there are different types of silks that are being produced. Depending upon the climatical conditions, depending upon the tropical regions, different types of silks are being produced, and based on the varieties, they have it has its own capability, and also it holds a major variety because of the tropical region and also the climatic conditions from the production of the silk. Second, we have what is the core function of the Central Silk Board. It majorly focuses on the training, it also focuses on the research. So we'll see it helps in the implementing new technique to increase the mulberry acreage, and also it improves the silkworm rearing methods. That means this sericulture doesn't stop at a single place, rather it evolves, as agriculture is known as an evolving place. That means it is changing every day. There is improvement, there are mutations, there are improvement at every stage. So here also in sericulture, they introduce new techniques, they'll introduce new machineries which can which can work out for the production from the farm till the fabric. There have been new techniques that have been coming again and again, so to improvise the sericulture industry. And also it majorly focuses on the market stability. That means it rationalizes of the market and it stabilizes of the silk and cocoon prices to protect farmers income. That means this CSB gives a particular prices. There will be price fixation done by the central silk board, which helps farmers in getting a good income and also for their stable lifestyle. The CSB will always be in a favor of the farmers and also in the favor of an industry. We'll see training. It is provided for the technical skills to rural farmers, and basically this training is provided to educate the farmers scientifically and also culturally, as this sericulture is a blend of traditions and also it is a blend of scientifical equipments and also scientifical new technologies. So this training has to be provided for the farmers continuously to the upgradation and the updation of the sericulture industry. So this collection of national statistics related to the mulberry acreage is done by the central silk board, and also the monitoring of cocoon harvest and also the raw silk production metrics, everything is handled by the central silk board. So they draft year wise, like they draft a 5-year plan for the production of the silk clusters. That means there is a plan and also there is a purpose to produce the silk. That means they give a 5-year plan for the development of the silk cluster, ensuring they ensure the standards, they ensure the quality, they ensure the quantity. The major focus will never be on the quantity, rather it will be also on the quantity as well. That means they ensure the standard quality parameters in the reeling and also in the spinning. This central silk board takes a huge responsibility and it plays a major role ensuring in the agriculture department, also in the agricultural sector, also in the industrial sector. It gives all the norms, it gives all the rules and regulations. At least it also fixes the price to give the to sell the silk. Now we see to continue this sericulture industry, we also need a support from the state. That means state support schemes, that is from Telangana. That means they supply assistance and subsidies rates to the tassar farmers. The production incentives provide for the tassar reeling cocoons. They means as we have mentioned, during the World War II, this sericulture industry has rapidly grown because India is the sole source for the production of the silk. For the production of the silk during that times, the farmers have been given incentives. In the same way, Telangana government also gives an incentives for the production of the tassar reeling cocoons. So incentives for the mulberry reeling at what's the rate for it? It's 75 rupees per kg for bivolatile cocoons. That means for the bivolatile cocoons, the rate has been given, that means 75 rupees per kg. And also the subsidy support is given for the tassar weavers, cooperative societies, and also raw silk incentives they offered up to 105 per kg. Then sericulture training programs at 400 rupees per day per farmer. Then the first state to cover, Telangana is the first state to cover the tassar reeling under MGNR EGS convergence. Then we see farmer gains 145 man days, adding 62,000 rupees to family income. That means they support material supply, the materialistic support is being given to the farmers. Also the machinery supports, that means new equipments is given to the farmers for the development of their production, for the development of the industrial textiles, and also for the production of the fabrics. Every new techniques and new technological machineries has been given to the farmers. They have been trained regards the machines, and also this they majorly, Telangana government, they are majorly focusing in the empowerment of the tribal people, and also they also empower in a sub-plan beneficiaries. Then we see the central sector assistance. In the central sector assistance, even in India, the central board gives a good assistance. If we see the activity, construction of the rearing sheds, it gives amount of 4 lakhs. The target beneficiary would be the tribal subplants. Then the Kisan nurseries development, the amount was given 1.5 lakhs for the rural farmer units. Then we have the mulberry bushes plantation support, which is given 50,000 individual farmers. Then rearing appliances and the montages were given for 75,000, and then we'll see multi-end reeling units, that means 17.9 lakhs they are given for the small scale entrepreneurs, and then automatic reeling units they have been given for the industrial scale industries. Then we see all this sericulture. We have mentioned that this sericulture holds, it is a blend of a traditions, it holds a culture, heritage, and also Indian economy, where it supports the agricultural industry and also the industrial industry for the production from the farm to the fabric. So sericulture evolves every day. There is a new equipments, new technologies that are coming up, as it also has a blend of ancient ages. We see during the World War II also there was a huge plus point. It was a huge plus during, there was no loss even during the World War II, as India was the only sole producers for the silk. Then we see the conclusion. As at conclusion, I would like to say that history of sericulture, it is a blend of ancient tradition, and also it gives a modern scientific progress. Today it remains as a backbone for the rural economy, providing millions with sustainable income while preserving Indian unique for the textile industry as well. So major focus of the sericulture, it also gives employment for the rural people, for the rural areas as well. So this sericulture industry majorly focuses on the employment for giving the weaker people and also for the women to support financially and also to be independent. There are many varieties that are been majorly produced in India. There are almost 5 varieties that has been produced in India. Also this in India we have our self independent silk production, which comes under other category, but majorly we majorly focus on the airy silkworms, oak tussar silkworms, and the tropical tussar silkworms. The major function, the major core importance of the sericulture industry is we have to take care of the quality of the silk, of the cocoon, of the egg, of the pupa, and also the larva, because one disease can spoil it can devastate the devastating disease called as pebrine. It can completely destroy the whole production, whole cultivation of the sericulture, of the silk. So this sericulture doesn't only focuses on the quantity, but also it focuses on the quality. That means based on the quality, the rates are been fixed, the employment has been given, governmental support is been given to the farmers and also for the entrepreneurs and also for the industries for the benefit, for their benefit. And also this sericulture is an evolving, it evolves every day. There is no stop for this industry of the sericulture. That means it holds a scientific grip and also the ancient cultural grip, as it is a blend of culture, as it is a blend of tradition and also of the scientific. That means regular education for the farmers and also the training for the farmers has to be given to educate them, and also for the better productivity and also for the improvement of the further fabrics, and also for the further farm production, also for the silkworm production, also for the egg, pupa, larva. All this life cycle also has to be taken care for the better focuses and also for the better improvement. Thank you so much.